Hey y'all, hey, I'm a little bit slim in the frame right now. I mean, my guys that talk and fight that, I'm saying spread me out a little bit. But hey y'all, hey, it's your sugar here. And tonight, my face is in the place and this is my platform. The Natalie Sugar Brown Show. And tonight and every Wednesday night around 7:30ish, right? We come here, we talk about women's boxing. So, yes, for those who are new, okay, I'm Natalie Sugar Brown, woman pugilist. I've lived this life. I've grown up doing it. I became a woman doing this. And so now this is my platform to give back to you guys out here who are interested in women's boxing, right? So this is my platform where I come back and I translate and I read between the lines and I tell y'all what's really going on out here in the women's boxing land. Who's on here with me? Who that? All right, y'all. Listen, y'all be patient with Suge and her guys here on Talkin' Fight tonight. Y'all know. Listen, how the shows go is, sometimes you just never know how smooth the show might go. Those who are new, stick around. Those who are true, y'all know how it is when we link up. It's a party, okay? All right, so um. Tonight's tonight's episode title is called Thunderclapped. And the reason why I say thunderclap, y'all know the ones who are true, y'all know what Sugar mean, what Sugar mean when she said that thunderclap. But those who are new, stick around. All right. So hang in there for this conversation. Um Not to pick on nobody, right? The show is called Thunderclapped, right? My guys on Talkin' Fight, they always like me to break down the synopsis or give them what Suge's going to talk about, and it's really about the recent upset. It's using the recent upset of pro prospect Ramla Ali, and her getting stopped by a very good contender who they met up. Both of them met up off home ground, and so it just had all the ingredients of a fight where each fighter had a fighting chance, and one of the ladies just really shined, and we want to talk about it tonight, right? And just talk about it in relation to a lot of other things that happen. So, okay, we got people chiming in already. Women's Boxing Channel, okay. Been a long time since you hit my line. Let's see what you got to say. Okay, Women's Boxing Channel said just shared the show post on my page, so hope she's coming soon. Well, I'm here. I'm here, and thank you for sharing. Um, Women's Boxing Channel says 7:30. It's 10 to 1. 10 to 1 here in the UK. LOL. Well, all right. Y'all know I'm over here on the west, on the way west coast, over here in the Americas, right? In America. So it's around 7:30ish over here, almost 8. All right, so thank y'all for those who are staying up, burning the midnight oil with your Suge. This the best time for us to get together. Yeah, um, sugar likes it past, likes the interactions past 9 p.m. That's when we get really comfortable and we can get frisky. So let's get frisky with the conversation. Thanks, Women Boxing Channel, for staying up tonight and hanging with your Suge. So Big Justin James comes in and said, as soon as I saw Guzman was wearing Reyes gloves, I knew she was going to hurt Ramla. Listen, Big Justin, what you know about them Reyes gloves? Now we talking already. We talking already. And that's what I was like. There were certain things that I saw in the fight where I just knew Ramla signed up for something that she ain't know what she was signing up for. You know what I mean? Um, so, I'm kind of slim right now, waiting for the screen to give me some room. But till then, y'all just we here, right? Pay attention. Women's Boxing Channel says Sugar's a night owl. Owl. Listen. I am a woman who has behaved badly all her life. So anytime Women's Boxing Channel. But I like the nighttime. That's all I got to say. What'd you think about the fight? Did you see it, Women's Boxing Channel? Did you see it? And back to Big Justin James. Thanks for chiming in. Listen, them Reyes gloves make a difference, don't it? See, this is how I know, like, this is why I have these conversations. This is why it's a conversational platform, right? Because people who know, the only way you can learn is from having a conversation. I'm not going to sit up here and tell you numbers and statistics and all of that stuff, right? Because I mean, this is not a book report. This is not a presentation. This is where we talking women's boxing. We talking women behaving badly, and it's a casual conversation. There's times that I'm wrong sometimes, and my people chime in and come in with the real numbers, and I fix it, right? So the thing about the Reyes gloves that big Justin James came in is before the fight happens, like minutes before the fight happens, when you sitting there in the dressing room and you getting wrapped up and you getting ready, it's almost ceremonial. I miss it. Um, you're sitting there, you're straddling the chair. I remember my one of my old trainers used to have this thing where, as he's wrapping my hands, if he dropped the gauze, he knows it's going to be a good night, right? So he's going, and every time, if he's doing it, and you rolling, you holding your fists, you holding your hands out to get your hands wrapped, so you can get them in the gloves. And every time, like, he would be wrapping and going through my hands and all that stuff, and he dropped the gauze, and he say, "You know what, Suge? We cooking tonight. It's going to be a good night. I dropped the gauze," right? So in preparing for battle, right? Everyone, the cut man, the fighter, the pad man, the water, the water person, your corner, everyone has their little sprinkle of magic that contributes to the wonderful experience of that fight, whether it be a good day at the office or a not so good day at the office. Okay. Um, so with the Reyes gloves, like I said, a couple minutes before, maybe about half hour, 45 minutes before you actually glove up and stuff, you get one visit. You get one visit from the People's Dem, the promoter and the commissioner, and they come in, and this either will happen at the weigh-in or before the fight, and they'll ask you, what gloves do you want to use? Okay? And this is where you got to know your stuff out here, because people think boxing is something that you can read out of a damn book, and it ain't. It ain't. Boxing is a real fight, and boxing is going to war, right? It's legal assault, and you have to choose your weapons, and you have to know what weapons are out here, right? So Reyes gloves are gloves that are not padded, they're the harder gloves out there. So you don't get, and there's no, they're very they have a lot of edging to them and contrast, just like smooth. One of the one of the better made gloves out here, I would say, okay? Because y'all know, don't nobody pay sugar, right? My loyalty is to the truth, okay? So I'm going to describe Reyes gloves are gloves that are more densely packed, okay? As a woman, I actually preferred to wear Reyes gloves because we have, for the most part, some women got good fighting hands. Sugar, as you can see, I can now give up all my secrets now because I don't think I'm gonna get back in there. But you see, Sugar has a shallow knuckle bed. Look right there, right? And I've listen, I refer back to the episodes that I've previously done when I talk about when you walk into a boxing gym, how you're scouted, how a trainer chooses you. Because oh, in the olden days, like where I'm coming from, you don't choose your trainer, the trainer chooses you, right? Because the trainer is devoting now care, F's given out of their life to try to make you into something, into a champion, dare to speak, in the ring. So they're looking at you to see, if you have the um, statistics, if you have, if you have the things, the ingredients that they need in order to cultivate a champion, right? And that's why a lot of a lot of trainers become famous because if you see a lot of these real champions, say Tommy Hearns, Emmanuel Stewart. Emmanuel Stewart was one of the was a legendary trainer because Emmanuel Stewart was known to take nothing and turn it into something. Nothing meaning if it was a scrawny, weak, gangly fighter, Emmanuel knew how to now fashion this body, this person that he has, and take their strengths and turn them into problems and make them weapons, and then turn those weaknesses, make those weaknesses now also strengths and problems that another contender would have to deal with. So that's why, this guy's legend. That's why trainers become legendary, or that's how you find a good trainer, right? So back in the day, a trainer like my father in boxing, Johnny Gant, um, he decided to take me on, right? It was John Jackson, but Mr. Jackson died before we can move any further. And Coach Johnny took me and I was still green. I was still, I was still untouchable. She's a woman in here, right? And I was not even know she's a girl in here. And I didn't have, I didn't have, I was just a scrappy little black girl walking in the gym. I didn't have, these stunning attributes that a lot of the other broads in the gym had. I wasn't no Falcons cheerleader, I wasn't this long, I had Afro puffs. I just, I didn't, I wasn't the thing that, they were looking for. But Johnny saw something in me. And so this is where I'm coming from now. I bring it back to this, right? Because Sugar tells. So you look at my hands. People talk about fighters' hands. Look at this fighter's hands. Okay, and you can see where I put in the work. Okay, you can see. You can see what hand is this? You see every knuckle here stood up, right? So you know which one I really had the power with, right? So Reyes gloves are compact, tight. So when you slide your hand in there, it fits snug. There's no padding around, right? And coach used to have me put my hand in the rice. Y'all don't know about the rice bucket, do y'all? Or the sand bucket. Do your research, but y'all real ones out there, y'all know about the rice bucket or the sand bucket or the mall bucket where coach will have you put your hand in that bucket, move your hand around and around and around and around to strengthen the muscles of your fingers, the ligaments of your joints, and make sure now they are conditioned to connect to your wrist so you can hold a tight fist. Because the tighter the fist, hands of stone, right? Right? So that's where that comes from. When you're fighting a fighter that can't even hold a proper fist, you feel it because their punches aren't really that high. Punches don't come through. When I used to punch, my shit used to come through the glove because coach conditioned my hand to be true weapons. So those Reyes gloves. Now you have other gloves out there, and I'm not going to drop too much, but they're gloves, I would say, like, say, rival gloves. Rival gloves are have more contour, and they do hold um they do hold your fist compact in the glove, but they're more padded. So you have a Reyes glove that is more, it's a harder glove and it's more compact. If you choose that glove, you're going in to do damage. You're going in there to bust a bitch up, or you're going in there to hurt. You're not trying to hold up nothing. You don't want no padding to hold. Now, if I was going in there now with a fighter that can bang, and I know this fighter hits hard, I'm going to choose the padded gloves. Why? Because I'm going to use the thick padding of the glove to protect myself, to protect the areas that are vulnerable and that could easily get damaged. I hope you guys now understand, because, sugar tells the tale, okay? So, but that means you got to pay attention to what I'm saying, what I'm talking, right? Um, so when Big Justin James said, as soon as I saw Guzman wearing the Reyes gloves, I'm right here with you, big dog. I seen it too. I said, oh, she not finna play with Ramla tonight. She's going to leave. I didn't know how the fight was going to go, because I mean, looking at Ramla's receipt and looking at her previous outings, right? She was basically being carried. Okay? So I said, if anything, she gonna try to bust Ramla up with them Reyes gloves on. Okay? Yeah. Um, Women's Boxing Channel says, come on, Mike, make sugar big. He trying, Mike. I want to be big. It's too, like, it's really compact in here. But he say it's stuck like this for now. They trying in the background to fix it. But stick with me, Women's Boxing Channel, please. Conversation going good. Women's Boxing Channel also says, yes, saw the fight live. Knew Ali would be found out, but didn't expect Guzman to reveal. Why though? Why you didn't expect Guzman to reveal? You was out there in Louisiana? You were in Louisiana? Women's Boxing Channel? That was awesome because I know you over there in UK. You flew out. You flew out. That's nice. Rebecca Towns comes in. Hey, Rebecca. Rebecca Towns says, today's my birthday today. Well, happy birthday, Rebecca. I hope you've been having a good birthday so far. I hope you had a wonderful year, and I hope you give the people around you another wonderful year of your presence here on this earth. I appreciate that. You know what? People don't realize being here is a miracle, right? Yeah. Not everyone doesn't get pregnant every time they behave badly. So, when mom and dad hit the jackpot and you end up here, it's a miracle and you're a walking miracle. And you're here to make an impact one way or the other in the lives of the people around you. So thank you, Rebecca Towns, for chiming in and making a little bit of impact on the Sugar Show tonight, right? This is down in history now. It's on the show. Um, Now I've been women's boxing channel. I've had my eye on Guzman for a while, but you know my rule. I don't really check for sub 10 fighters. And she was sub 10 when I first saw her. But when I saw her, I was like, this broad can fight. They seasoning her up. Um, Lovely assistant. I don't know how my images are gonna go tonight, but lovely assistant, can the images pop up tonight? Ooh, okay. So I'm gonna be small. Okay, y'all gonna do it this way. All right, so this is the fight that we're talking about. Okay, y'all. Um, Put it back how it was. I like that. So listen, beautiful. Like I like it. I like how Dazen was selling it. Look at both images, both broads look interesting. I like the way they were selling it. The badass girl with the tats. She got the heart right here on her chin. Who you telling me? You telling me that broad? Hey, come on. I, Okay, that's like that teardrop right there. You ever been locked up down and you seen that dude or the bra with the teardrop, it's a story behind it, right? So she true to her story. She put that thing on her face. Okay? And then you got Ramla Ali, the clean, beautiful cover girl, right? Because that's what she been doing. She got a book out. She got it going on till the break of dawn, and she's sub 10. Now Guzman now at this point, had about uh 14 fights, right? So double digits, over 10, and Ramla's people them chose her to fight for this intercontinental IBA title. Okay, I mean IBF title. Okay, along they were also fighting for the WBA intermediate title, and this is super bantamweight. Okay, this is a super. These I've been talking about these bantamweight broads for a couple episodes now because the pot's bubbling, right? Middleweight and them they sleep now. Clarissa did her was the last of the big girls to be in there and bring some attention to the big girls, bigger broads. Now, bantamweight pot is bubbling, right? The burner is hot. So we had Ebony Bridges. We had goodness. I don't want to just name but Ebony is a celebrity, right? She shows up with the silicones and she sells her stuff and she's been rallying that super banner. But I also, because she's on that celebrity status, I wanted to bring that weight class to my platform to let everybody know that she ain't the only one out here, right? It's a lot of baddies in bantamweight, the super bantamweight that y'all need to know about, and y'all need to check out my previous episodes, bantamweight baddies. Okay, um, we got somebody checking in, Michael Jackson. But we not talking about you. Talking about my Michael Jackson or the other? You must be the other Michael Jackson. Okay. The other Michael Jackson comes in talking about, please be honest. Well, I mean, I'm gonna give it to you straight from my hip, pew, right? And I can only tell you how I feel, honestly, about the situation, right? And it's a conversation. But Michael Jackson, you be honest too. Did you see this fight, Ramla Ali versus Julissa Guzman? Did you see? It's a good fight. It's a pretty good fight. Um, and using this as a conversational piece tonight. Okay, I don't know how long this show gonna be, but it's a party already. We got people in. Um, so you know, watching the fight and watching the like I said, I saw Julissa Guzman. She's been in there. I see how she operates in there. She's a real pro. She's seasoned. The way she throws her punches, the way she manages the round, the way she uses her 2 minutes, you could tell that they're not playing with her. And she's really taking this boxing thing seriously. Um, and then Ramla Ali now looking for her journey, coming from where her background is. She's this elite amateur with a good background, Somalian refugee. Like, her story's out there. She was, she had a good stint as an amateur, and now she's in the pros, and they're selling her for a lot of everything else outside of being a fighter. That's what I think, and that's what I said before. You know what I'm saying? Um, so I did a show, and Ramla Ali was one of the main subject topics in my show. Okay, I can't tell you off the top of my head what the title of the show is, but just check it out. Check my shows out here on Talkin Fight. But Ramla Ali, like I said, she her performances were lackluster. Her last fight, she looked like she was sparring, in the last one that I saw. And then she did her first woman in history to have a boxing match in Saudi Arabia. She did her first, and she's doing a lot of first and great things, but she's not building herself as an actual fighter. You see what I'm saying? Like, be real in there before you start doing, or before you start being out here in the magazines and writing books and all that shit. I mean, all of us out here, all us women boxers, we got books. We can write books, right? There's many women boxers who were the first to do a lot of shit out here, right? There were, a lot mad baddies out here are beautiful and sexy and got beautiful hairs and shit, right? But at the end of the day, yo ass got to fight. You got to be real in there, because it ain't no joke. Women's boxing is not a game. It's not a celebrity. It's not show business. It's not. It's not. Um, Big Justin James comes in and says, "Do you feel like Ramla was going to win if she didn't get knocked out? I feel like Ramla was landing more than Guzman in the beginning. Ramla is more of a stinging puncher, and Guzman was heavier puncher." So this is what I had to say, Big Justin James. Ooh, Big Justin. Okay, I like the way you talk. This is what I had to say about that. I saw the way Guzman positioned herself in front of Ramla. I saw how Ramla was standing square. Her shoulders were more square in front of Guzman, and Guzman was giving her the angle. When somebody's standing square in front of you in a fight, You can't don't ain't no power, ain't no pop behind that because there's no leverage. There's no there's no twerk behind a shit. When somebody give you the angle, right? Watch out for this and watch out for this because they whipping. They're whipping. You feel me? Right? Somebody standing clear. They're point fighting. So this is where I'm saying, this is what I was saying with Ramla. She's not seasoned. She's still in the pros point fighting. Stinging punches. Sting? Right? You going in there with people who are trying to put a mud hole in your face. Right? And if you did your homework, you would see that Guzman is the type of fighter. Not only is she putting leverage, but she turning them bitches over. Right? So she's gonna damage you. She's the type of fighter that she's gonna damage you. Much like what homegirl back a couple months ago, y'all girl out there, Amanda Serrano, didn't know about Erica Cruz, right? Erica, these Mexican broads, don't get it twisted, right? Some of them come over to lose, but a lot of them, they teach their women how to fight over down there in Mexico, right? They're teaching, much respect. They were doing it harder before us, up north and over there in UK, in Europe, right? Mexican women been with the shits, okay? It's just that they were picky choosy with who they brought over here to fight and who they were willing to fight, okay? Now, that being said, Ramla Ali, you could tell that she wasn't doing her homework. And as a fighter, yeah, you got a coach, you got a trainer, but your ass need to be doing homework too. You need to be looking at videos. You need to be checking receipts. All the answers are out there. It's not like back in the ancient times, back in the day when I used to be out there listening, you know, so such and such, out there begging for VHSs to watch, right? It's there. This is what I got to say. So Ramla thinking that she could come in there and outpoint and her coach, who's supposed to be some legendary coach. Y'all listen, y'all, my people, I forgot this dude's name already. I made notes and I ain't used my phone this time. But he's supposed to be some legendary coach. And the reason why too that my foot is a little, I done put my foot on Ramla's neck, is because they were selling her, they were selling her selling her like a Mercedes. And she a Honda out here. Yeah, I said it. Right? You could put rims on, you could build yourself. Build yourself. And then start leaning and throwing your weight around. Right? I'm the first Somali. Wasn't going to be no first Somalian woman for another long time after you, girl. You was ahead. You didn't have to do all of this. You could have really scaled back and worked on your craft and worked on you being you in that ring and taking this boxing game seriously, because it's not a game. I thought it was going to be shenanigans based on, if you're new to the conversation, you'll hear, I always say this, right? Now in women's boxing, if your people damn have money, then you're able to buy and pick and choose your opponents, right? And your people in front of you. So I thought this would be like another sparring contest that they were going to have. Dancing was going to have people pay they good hard-earned money to watch, right? I really thought it was. Because I thought, if anything, Ali was going to pick up that track star style with this one. Because Guzman is a straight stepper. She don't dance around in the ring or anything like that. She's not a boxer. Guzman is a banger. Guzman is a banger fighter. Okay? And my previous one of my favorite episodes, Styles Make Fights, right? And the fighters' temperaments. You can see that I've explained all of that. So Guzman playing out beeline to the point, choleric fighter. She's not going to play with you in there, right? I thought Ramla Ali was going to play that, point fighting game, dance around and, take from Katie Taylor, the track star. Here I am, boop, peekaboo, and run and shit. She didn't do that. She thought she was going to point fight Guzman. I don't understand. Girl, you ain't did your homework. And now look at you. But anyway, let me go back. So I'm Big Justin. I thought that it was going to be like to where the leverage was going, leverage was going to make it to where Ali wins by points. But this is what I love about boxing in general, period. But this is what I love about women's boxing. There's always a fighting chance. And Guzman went in, when she picked them damn Reyes gloves, she went in there not to win. She went in there to hurt. And that's another couple miles down into the damn rabbit hole of what this shit is, right? Because you gotta be kind of crazy. You gotta be kind of crazy to be a fighter and do it for a living and want to make money doing it, right? We ain't the people that, like many fighters are smart, and we're not the people peg us that we're dumb, we're hot-headed or whatever. No, fighters are people that will go there, basically. We will take it to another damn level. We will go high, we going to take it to outer space. Go low, we going to take that shit to the center of the earth. You know what I'm saying? That's how a fighter is. That's what a fighter's mentality is, right? So Guzman went in there to hurt. And when a fighter decides to go in there to hurt, that fighter wins regardless. Because if I draw blood, if I bust you up, I won. If I drop you, I won. If I hurt you in any way, I win. I walk away, a winner, right? Ali hasn't been seasoned enough to see that. And she doesn't have people around her that understands the game enough to know that either, right? So this is where, you hear a fighter, trainers out there, the old heads used to talk and say that motherfucker don't know a left hook from a fish hook, right? That's what they mean by that. Sometimes you will be looking at something, but you really don't know the depth of what it is. So Guzman went in there to hurt, and nobody from Ali's team saw it. Michael Jackson comes in with talking about 6-inch length. Let me tell you something. 6-inch length. You coming into my conversation with some 6-inch length, you better have some interesting shit behind that. Cause don't do that here. Cause that 6 inches ain't got shit to do with what we talking about tonight. Michael Jackson. Women's boxing and it ain't got no place. Cause I can't do nothing with, like, tell me what you could do. Let's bring you out here. Tell me what you doing with them 6 inches. Anyway, Women's Boxing Channel says Guzman is one of the rare breed that can walk through a punch. There ain't many. You're right about that. I mean, there are rare breeds in women's boxing, and they're also not showcased. Those type of female fighters are not showcased in women's boxing. And I don't know why. I don't know why. Because those type of fighters are the fighters that are going to make money, that are going to make uh, this women's boxing thing legit, right? There has to be danger in this. Going in there and getting stung, that ain't dangerous. Going in there and might could possibly get your face looking like roast beef walking out there, that might be interesting. Going in there with a possibility of getting slumped, now you got entertainment, right? And it's now, how are you going to maneuver that? How are you going to inflict that on the person in front of you? Or how is that person in front of you going to persevere and be victorious over that danger? That's what this is about, especially women's boxing, right? So this celebrity, I show my goodies, and that's why I'm famous in there. That shit is old, right? We want women behaving badly that can that are dangerous too. We want the element of danger, that you could go in there and get slumped. Bring more Guzmans, bring more Ann Wolves, bring back some more Christy Martins, right? Even though Christy Martin used to slump the not so, I say Christy Martin because she was, not that she was the only one and she was big, but she was the first one marketed in such a manner. That's why I bring her name up. Nothing, she wasn't more special than the ones before her. There was some real tough broads fighting 15 rounds, 3 minutes before Christy Martin, right? So, I mean, it is what it is. Big Justin James said, yeah, she walked through her. Yeah. Ali was outgunned. Like, you gonna bring a pistol when, you know, this broad got the damn bazooka? Even though the pistol could hurt her, you better have a plan with this damn pistol. You can't stand in front of somebody who's a banger with both your shoulders facing them. You can't do that. I ain't gonna give y'all all the secrets, right? But these are the things that people, connoisseurs or people who love pugilism, these are the things that we look at. We don't look at hitting hard, right? That's relative. Everyone can hit hard to a certain degree. I'm looking at, is you ready? Like, are you ready? How are you going to butcher this month? What's your position in this situation? Oh, you standing like this? Oh, you trying to use that leverage? Oh, you going to fight off the front foot, or you going to fight off the back foot? Or you going to alternate, or you going to hit the angle? How are you going to do this? How you going to use the spin off, the check hooks? How are you going to do this? What are you going to use? Right? When I watching, I watch I don't watch all women's, I don't watch the whole fight, and I don't watch all women's fights, because after the first round I could tell what this is going to be. And after the first round I can tell if this is a fighter that's worth my time, right? It is what it is, right? Sometimes it's like she got the wonderful, like it's to me, we haven't developed enough. Most of the fights are are like watching a toddler eat spaghetti. And you're looking and you're like, yeah, oh, you're cheering. Oh, she got. Then you watch the toddler with the fork and they holding the fork and some of the spaghetti noodles get in the mind. They stuck in. Oh, you're feeding yourself. I want a mom. I want to watch a mom that can eat spaghetti with chopsticks. I want somebody skilled in the game. How are you going to um how are you going to uh break down this person in front of you? What's your skills? Show me the skill set that you're going to use to do this, right? Because a fight's a fight's a fight. How are you going to set this up? And Guzman set Ali ass up. And the thing about it is, Ali went back to the corner, and nobody said anything to her. She went back in the ring doing the same bullshit that got her knocked out. Trust me, I'm not talking about it because I don't know it, right? I had a shitty corner when I fought Jessica McCaskill. I went back there. I did my best, right? But they were watching the fight. They wasn't watching the fighter, right? So when I pulled my lead hand back low, I got clipped, and Jessica got some pop, right? And I was down in my weight. So I'm not talking about some shit that I don't know, right? And guess what? I get hurt like that in there, bitch, you ain't getting no 10% of my purse. You were supposed to prepare me, right? I do have a clause in my contract with my trainers. When we review this shit, if it turns out that you didn't do your job, you're not getting that 15%. You may get 12%, you may get 10%. If you want some real bullshit, you'll get 7%. You got to be shrewd in this game, because these people look at fighters, especially women boxers, as cash cows. They don't care about us. Very rare will you find a trainer that actually cares about how you're going to live on after they get they cut. I said it. Promoters, managers, all of that. I've been there. I'm not whistling Dixie. I'm writing, I'm spitting bars, right? That's what I'm saying. But I shan't never give away that experience and information free. Y'all got to pay me, right? But I'll drop some jewels once in a while. Let's get back to the conversation, right? So, Women's Boxing Channel comes in and says, Ramla is too involved in her backstory and other jobs like charity, royalty, magazines, etc. I don't like her as a boxer. Sorry. Well, that's where I was too, Women's Boxing Channel. I was going to say it, but you said it, right? Because they always talking about sugar hard is always hard on a broad out here, right? But that was my thing. I'm like, bitch, are you a boxer? Because you out here, you got the book, you got the movie, you got the magazine, bitches on Vogue and Elle. God dang. Are you boxing? Lovely assistant, show me the other image. Like, what's the other image out here? As a boxer, she made people question her and she made people not like her. Now look at this image right here, right? It shouts out to everybody paying attention, everybody who is really a student of pugilism. Look at how one is throwing her shots versus the other. Okay? Look at this image. Now, Guzman is throwing that hook. Now, Guzman hit Ramla with a right hand out the gate. I think she dropped Ramla in the fifth round or something like that, fourth or fifth round. Dropped Ramla ass. And when she dropped Ramla, Ramla went back. The Ramla people then didn't see how it happened. They're watching the fight. They're not watching the fighter. As a in somebody's corner, if my fighter gets dropped, I got to, okay, I see now. I see why. I saw that. That's going to be the first thing I fix when she comes back. Right? Either you got to get out of there or you got to keep your hands high. You got clipped with that. You didn't see it. And if you didn't see it, that means your guard got to be in place. Right? We got to have these conversations. Right? Because I came up like that too. Look at Guzman throwing the shot. You see where Guzman's shoulder is and you see where her chin is? So no counter is gonna come through because she's blocked, she's behind her shoulder. Anything that comes from this direction is going to deflect off her shoulder. That other hand is here. She can stop it, she can parry it out, right? Sugar don't let the smooth taste fool you, right? Sugar like to fight, right? So that positioning, that stance right away shows you that this choleric fighter is standing in front of you. She ain't running, she ain't going nowhere. She's like this because guess what? The leverage from that backhand, that rear hand is coming, okay? Look at Ramla, right? In front, both shoulders pretty much in front of Guzman. She's not in the position to be of any success standing in front of this fighter. And she didn't even pay attention to that. And she's on TV doing this shit. She got a spot on the big platform doing this shit. This is what I'm talking about. They don't showcase the real women's fighters who can fight. You gonna put somebody who needs seasoning on a platform like this, right? No one in her corner, no one on her team saw that. She's so busy being a star, and they so busy being in her entourage that they forgetting the fact that she's got to learn how to damn fight because she can get hurt in there. When you get dropped, when you get knocked out, she got knocked out. You could see it when she was on the floor. Her spirit was saying, get up. Her body was still logging, was still loading, right? That's temporary brain damage. It's not a joke. It's not a joke, right? People laugh, oh, you got knocked the fuck out. Okay, but it's a serious thing. Getting dropped and getting knocked out. Her eyes were just open, but she was gone for a second. The referee had to help her to her feet. She wasn't ready. So, yeah, that's where I was coming from with that. Women's Boxing Channel, I definitely agree with you. She was too occupied with what she was doing outside of the ring to be of any substantial presence as a fighter in the ring. Women's Boxing Channel says Brooke Dietrich said last night that she heard people saying Guzman only got paid $4,500. Okay. Yeah, them's the breaks. What did y'all expect? Guzman came in to lose. They brought Guzman in as an opponent, right? So that was a good payday for an opponent, right? That's what that was. But Guzman had her own damn plan. She said, I'm gonna come in and hurt this bitch. And then on top of that, I'm gonna be a star after. Because at the same time, I've mentioned this in previous shows, okay? But just like you stalking your people stalking other people, you getting stalked too. And she was right there. She's right. Girl, you a star. You got a book out, you got a movie, you got a magazine, and guess what Guzman can say now? I knocked this bitch out. I knocked her out. Oh, you know her? I knocked her out. I knocked out the first woman who fought in Saudi Arabia. I knocked her out. Right? You got to it's checks and balances. Right? So Ramla, she said by. I always also say this. There's a lot of boxing is a karmatic sport. It is. The fact that I went through I grew up in this sport. I became a woman. I was a teenager, grew up into a woman, into this sport, right? I wish I had a lot of the opportunities that a lot of my fellow women had. I wasn't able to get the titles and things like that, but I can say I've left with my faculties. I am healthy. And I've been through some wars. I was swimming in the sea of sharks, right? I was in there with a lot of them, men's and women's, okay? Be careful. 4,500 ain't a bad payday. But what's going to happen now with Julissa Guzman is they're going to leave her ass alone for a very long time because she's dangerous. She done hurt the star. No one's going to sign up to fight her. I would love. Well, she has the title. She does have now this Intercontinental IBF title. And she also has this WBA Intercontinental title. She does. She did take them bitches off of Ramla waist. Snatch them belts up off. So what'll happen is she will have to find a way to pay those bodies their sanctioning fee. Okay? I'm not sure. She looked like she has a lot of sponsors on her skirt there that she's wearing. She looks like she has some sponsors. So she has some money behind her. Okay? They can pay the fee to hold on to those titles. Or she can luck out and get signed by a big promoter. She's a Mexican fighter, though. I don't think any of these UK, Tommy Hearn, or any of these guys are interested in signing a Mexican fighter. That's just the biz. They should, but they don't. So what'll happen is she'll end up disappearing. They'll blackball her and put her on the shelf to get stale. She's a Mexican fighter, though. She'll fight in Mexico. Moving forward, though, none of those baddies that I've mentioned in my previous episode, bantamweight baddies, will touch this broad with a 10-foot pole. Not Ebony, not Shernika, not who just won. She just called out Ellie Scottney, who beat Shernika, and that has the actual IBF super bantamweight title. She called her ass out. She said, bitch, you next. Come on. Right? But Ellie Scottney is not gonna fight Julissa. I think Ellie Scottney is sub 10. They still trying to keep it on some they trying to keep it real slow out here. But like I said, that bantamweight pot is bubbling, and there's potential to make a lot of money if they just give these women, these really good women, a chance to go in there and entertain the people. Um, let's see. Women's Boxing Channel says Hope Guzman gets her dues now. She'll get her dues where she'll get, her name will have some weight behind it in women's boxing, right? She has done enough to, now she's a name, now she's a brand, she's a bit of a brand, okay? Because she done exposed the Ramla Ali brand, okay? But I I don't know where she's gonna pull in the money, the paper, and this is all about the paper at this point in women's boxing. Um, Women's boxing saying she's calling out now. Yeah, she called out y'all girl over there who decisioned her way over Sharnika, Ellie Scottney. Right, Ellie Scottney look pretty strong, but she ain't seasoned enough for this one. I would love for them to get in there and go at it. I think with how Julissa operates, she'll stop a lot of these broads in the bantamweight division. I like her. I like her. Um, Women's Boxing Channel says, I love and respect Mexican boxing. They love and respect boxing. I've trained with some great under. I've trained there. I've trained under some great trainers, great camps. They are wonderful people. What I learned about Mexican, the culture of pugilism, boxing in Mexico, is there is a humility there. There's a humility that makes each and every one of them great. There's a humility because they understand what this thing is, and they go in there and they learn. It's always a learning process. It's always a learning and a teaching. There's always learning and teaching going on in there. It's not who's bigger and better than who, which is a lot of the machismo shit that happens, up above, above the border, right? And everywhere else. And that's what I love about the culture of boxing in South America, Mexico particularly. Cedric Sports Training. I mean, it been a minute because I wasn't reading it off. But hey, says, what up, champ? Just checking in. Great show as usual. Thank you, Seti. Said he's a general out here. He's a one of the uh, elite um, amateur boxing trainers up there in the great north of Canada, and he like I always say, it's truly an honor when he takes the time to drop in and give Sugar some of his time. Um, if you're still listening, Seti, let me know what you thought, because Seti does this show on, I believe it's on Sundays, where he do the scorecards for certain fights. I don't know if he did the scorecard for this one, but I would love to know how he saw it score wise, this fight here, because Suge really only, like, I talk about women's boxing, but um I got my eye on a couple of the men's out there that I particularly like, and I do watch their fights as well. Big Justin James comes in and says, "What do you think about India Smith fight on the same card? I think the scorecards were too wide. See, then this where Seti needs to drop in. I'm not even going to lie. I didn't watch that fight, baby. I'll go back and watch it, and I'll come back and make mention of it in the next show coming up. I promise, baby. But what I do is I come on here and I talk about the women's part of it. Sugar, I listen. I I don't even really. There's just certain prospects, male prospects that I will watch, but I'll go back and see what you're talking about, big Justin James. Um, Hodo Alex One comes in and says Clarissa Shields is good. And then two shades with the smiley face and thumbs up, meaning I think uh Hodo Alex One really likes Clarissa Shields and thinks highly of her. And I do too. I like Clarissa Shields and I think pretty highly of her and her accomplishments. Um I really feel like she's kind of placed time wise. I would have loved to have seen a Clarissa Shields swimming in the sea of sharks um, before her. She has a great IQ. She has a lot of potential. She doesn't have power. She has punch output, and she's maturing in that ring. Um, I see her seasoning up, and it's good. I think her last fight with Cornaho, I forget her first name, but Clarissa Shields should have stopped that girl. There's no excuse. You don't carry a fighter like that the whole fight. You the gwat, ain't you? Why didn't you stop her? And that's where I am with that, right? But she's a very good fighter. Very good fighter, has a great IQ, a lot of potential. Clarissa Shields versus Ann Wolfe. Clarissa Shields versus Layla Ali. Clarissa Shields versus Letitia Robinson. Clarissa Shields versus Veronica Simmons. Clarissa Shields versus Karen Bill. Clarissa Shields versus come on now, Marsha Valley. Clarissa Shields versus the other Wolf. Not Ann Wolf, but the other. I think the other one, what's her name? Ann Wolf too. She used to wear her hair in purple. Um, I'd love to see Clarissa Shields in that sea of sharks. Because back in those times, women were hurting each other in there. Women weren't out pointing each other. They were hurting each other. That's how we got the attention. Clarissa Shields versus Vonda Ward. Even though Vonda Ward got flattened by Ann Wolfe, it doesn't take away the fact that Vonda Ward was over 6 feet and she had leverage on her shots. So I would have loved to see Clarissa Shields navigate that sea of sharks. But right now, she is pound for pound, I would say, the best woman boxer in this era right now. And who knows, like pound for pound, let's talk about pound for pound. Would Clarissa Shields be able to, pound for pound now, if Guzman was to now move up or be able to bulk up and be a solid middleweight, super middleweight, junior middleweight, would Clarissa Shields be able to deal with the likes of Julissa Guzman, a fighter like that? Because there's no fighter like Julissa Guzman up there. And ain't no big girl like Julissa Guzman. Ain't no big girl like that. You understand what I'm saying? There's levels to this. We can't just look at women's boxing relatively. A fight's not a fight's not a fight. It's who? Who's that? Who's that broad? Who's that crone? Who's the dragon in there? What's she doing? How's she doing it? You understand? Women's Boxing Channel says Guzman's clean KO was akin to Ann Wolfe versus 6'6" Vonda Ward. In fact, I'd say it was better. So, I mean, Women's Boxing Channel said it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, this was one of the better performances of women's boxing. But check this, the gag is this. Check this out. After it happened, I was actually seeing footage of the fight circulate on the internet, because you know we live in cyberspace, the internet. Go back and see what you can find about this fight now. You can't find nothing. You could barely see pictures. You don't see nothing. They done wiped it clean. It says, if it never happened. That's why my foot's on Ali's neck too, right? You need to take this L like all of us has taken our L's, right? Leave it out there. Let the world see. You a refugee, you representing people that's coming back from being knocked out and stomped on. Be about the life, bitch. Show it. Show it. Show the world. Your ass got flattened. Show how you get up from this. You can make this, you can still make this into a success story, Ramla. Why your people them took it off the internet? Don't you believe? What am I buying your book for? This is one of the greatest adversities that you'll ever face in your career. This that you've made upon yourself, right? You got knocked off your high horse. Get back up there, girl. I believe in you. I do. Women's Boxing Channel says because she planned it. She didn't KO by pure opportunity like Wolf. Guzman is a seasoned fighter. Like I was watching, I had my eye on her before. I saw when she fought Yamila Mercado. Lovely assistant. Let's see the other image that I got here. Let's see what we got. I mean, look at it. Look at it, y'all. And I really don't put people like this. The reason why I put this is because I want y'all to see Ramla and not see Ramla in a state of, oh, haha, she got not. I want y'all to see how real this shit is and how real you understand playing with fire and your ass get burnt? She laying there while the arena is cheering. Y'all will never know how the feeling of that, right? The feeling of getting lost or beat or getting hurt while the arena erupts in the light. You see what I'm saying? So she got to live through this, and her spirit is get up, right? That part. But the body, the mechanical body, is froze. She can't do shit as much as she wants to. That's how real this thing is. Okay? And Guzman's there. The ref looking at Guzman. And the thing about this is they were saying the ref was counting too fast. Well, I just don't understand how much slower the referee needs to count if you looking at this broad on the canvas and her eyes are glazed back. This is what I'm saying about you guys not understanding what the hell going on in that damn ring. Okay? This fight needed to be stopped, right? Regardless of how fast the referee count, after he count fast or slow, he needed to stop it. Her eyes were glazed back. It's serious now. Right? That's why we end up, especially women, that's why some of us end up dead, because they're not paying attention to especially us in there. Okay? Lovely assistant, next image. No, don't skip over. we got to give the champ her due. So this is the champ right here. And I tell you, heartfelt when she collapsed on the floor and she broke into tears. Why? Because she did that. She took matters into her own hand and she took the damn fight. She snatched them damn belts from up under Ali, and nobody can do nothing about it. Not the ref, not the judges. She earned her keep. She made her legacy. And that's what we're in it for. That $4,500, that was good, but she wasn't in it for $4,500. She was in it for her legacy, and she attained it. She was victorious. I like it. I like her. Julissa Guzman, okay? Super bantamweight, problem. Champion, okay? Contender. Big Justin James says, I feel like the only one that might have a chance versus Clarissa is Shadiza Green or Mary Spencer. Now, this the tea. This is the tea, Big Justin James, about these contenders that you've brought up. Shadiza Green, she's got her work cut out in front of her. She's gonna fight Franchon Cruz soon. Right? I think she's up to be fighting Franchon Cruz. Okay? Franchon ain't no joke. She been in the game. She has a pretty decent IQ. Ugly fighter, okay? Meaning she's a true fighter. There's no technique or anything behind her shit. She goes in there and she fights. But she'll beat your ass in there. She'll beat your ass up in there. And that's, I mean, as a fighter, I got to respect that. I like that. And Franchon Cruz is the champ. So Shadasia needs to deal with Franchon, right? And once she gets through someone who is seasoned at the level of Franchon, because none of her previous opposition has been at the level of Franchon Cruz, then we can talk about her getting in there with Clarissa Shields, because Clarissa Shields' receipt is solid, okay? Clarissa Shields has a solid receipt. Shadasia Green's receipt she got some clearance items on that mofo. Okay? Clarissa Shields bought all of her items on her receipt were paid for full price, meaning they were real contenders. They weren't anyone that was made to be beat. And that's the thing about Clarissa Shields. She never had an off day. She had to fight the best out the gate and has to keep fighting the best. Clarissa Shields can't go back and fight no loser. She can't. The closest that she would have been, she you know, kind of, I'm losing my words. She actually downgraded when she fought this Cornejo contender, because Cornejo, it wasn't a strong contender to begin with. She wasn't. Okay? That's why I say Clarissa should have stopped Cornejo. Right? Cornejo's been stopped. I do believe she has been stopped. My people out there, look up Cornejo. Tell me if she's been stopped. I think she has. If not, you know, Clarissa Shields should have done worse to her than what her previous opposition has done, but she didn't. She just she beat her up. She carried her the whole fight. Cornejo carried Clarissa Shields that whole fight. That's what they would have said. That's what the elders would have said. Oh, so she carried you. Ain't nobody talking like that nowadays, right? Everybody wants to be friendly, and everybody don't nobody know shit about boxing. R.I.P. Uncle Roger, right? Corner Hogan. Ain't nobody come back and say, oh, but she carried you. She carried you that whole time. You ain't drop her, you ain't hurt her, you ain't fold her. She carried you. Ain't nobody talking like that. Mary Spencer now. Mary Spencer got got took got took off the list by, I think, Femke Herman went to Quebec, and you know how dangerous it is to fight a female fighter in Quebec, right? Because I mean, yeah, right. Dangerous meaning that they'll set your ass up. That people have died over there, right? So Femke went over there to fight Mary Spencer, and Femke messed around, thought she was going to go there to, to lose, drop Mary Spencer ass, and when she stepped over the bitch, she said, "You know what? Get up, bro. Bitch, get up. I'm a mess around and win this damn fight." And won the title that they were fighting for. Beat Mary Spencer. Solid handedly beat Mary Spencer. And that Mary Spencer has always been that type of fighter, right? I seen Mary as an amateur when they was talking. Mary was also one easy breezy, beautiful cover girl. I'm like, bitch, you a cover girl, right? And I also saw when Clarissa Shields took her soul up there in Windsor in the amateurs, right? You got to have heart to be in this game. You got to have heart. You got to wear them big grown ass women britches to know that I might get my ass whooped, but it ain't going to be easy. And guess what? I'll be back. Right? See, I've been grown up in an environment like that, right? I've grown up around some real women, and not real women fighters, but real women where I've grown up around domestic violence and shit. Where, yes, she got her boyfriend, her husband, her man beat her ass, but it wasn't easy, and his ass know better next time. Yeah. Like, so I understand, like, a lot of us in women's boxing, like Ramla Ali came from being a refugee and stuff. Well, I'm a refugee too. I've seen some things, right? So what we've done is we've turned it, manifested it into the art of fighting. We've taken what we've learned, what we know, what we felt, and turned it into how manifested, made it into the way we fight, right? So I said that to say this. Goodness. Yeah, I said that to say this. There needs to be, we need to, they're not marketing women, the women in boxing and women's boxers. They're not marketing it the true way that we are. We are a sisterhood. We are a sorority of women who have gone through severe adversity. And what we did was we decided to fight. And we may not like each other, but we for damn sure respect each other for getting in there and doing what we do, right? The only thing is so many two-faced, and people, people want to be friends and they think this thing is a friendly thing. No, somebody's got to be Somebody's got to be frank. Somebody has got to be loyal to the truth. And I was raised I was raised by men in this sport. I was raised to be a woman. I became a woman in the sport, but raised by men who taught me certain things about this. Okay? And at the end of the day, there has to be some kind of realness to you. Realness to whether you can, how you get in there, taking it and giving it. You can't be a star. I've tried it too. I've done this movie star thing and paid for that shit. You know what I'm saying? When I got back in the ring, I've done the gone through life thing and thought I can deal with my life situations, divorce, and going through family being torn apart, losing everything I have, and having to build back up and getting back in the ring, and I've paid for it. You have to respect this thing we call boxing. It's not a game. It's not. Um. So yeah, Franchon Cruz came up in Baltimore. Baltimore, the environment. She's younger than me. I grew up. That's where the family Ruby Scott landed first, from the Caribbean, from Jamaica, right? I grew up there. I went to school there. I went to school that you had to go through metal detector, where I had to I carried razor blade in my mouth, right? And this is for protection, to get through the metal detector, right? And I've refined. The universe took me and guided me to a place where all of those things that I know and I've learned, I was able to have teachers to guide me, to use what I know and what I've been through for good, for the good of me. Now I'm a mother, I'm a sister, I'm a friend, I'm a mentor, right? I give back. So, I mean, yes, I've gone into a rant, but this is what it is, right? And we all contribute to this industry, this life, in our own special way. Um, Big Justin James says, you think Ramla will be able to come back from this? I feel like they gonna build her record more with a bunch of tune-up fights to get her confidence back. Let me tell you something. Um, I don't want to put what I think. I think Ramla is a fighter. She come from that fight. Ramla Ali come from being a refugee. When I was much younger and I was an amateur, I was I worked with refugee children coming from Somalia, and uh, they were a breath of fresh air because they saw horrible things, but they were able to still be children. So I don't doubt that Ramla has the internal fortitude to bounce back from this, because being from that refugee background, I'm sure she's known of and she's come from worse. And she's the one that put that hat on. She said, I represent these people. So she better put her mouth, she better put her actions behind what her mouth say, right? She put herself in the magazines. She wrote the book. She said all of that. She branded herself that way. So, tune up? She don't need to be tuned up, right? She don't need to be tuned. She needs to actually fight. She's done a lot of firsts. Check her history. But she got to actually fight in that ring. She got to actually face women who have had similar types of adversity in their life. And she's got to be the better woman. And she's got to get their respect, right? I haven't won all of my battles in the ring, but for damn sure at the end of every fight, every last one of the women that I fought have respect for me, because it's not only boxing, it's a battle of will. It's how deep can you go? And it's how far will you go? And when you get in the ring with somebody who have gone as far as you, meaning, yeah, I know this bitch did the work. I know she been running. I know she been doing this. I know she been doing, I know, you know, like I said, it's a sorority. You know that she ain't been through, it ain't been a field of daisies for this broad. And you fight her, and at the end of the fight, y'all see each other differently. Okay, you bad. I beat you, but you a bad bitch out here. Or you beat me, you must be bad. That's the mutual understanding that we get. It's not points. That's the difference between amateur and pro. When you pro doing it, it ain't about points. It's really not. It's about, I know how far you were willing to go because I feel that shit in here. I know what you, when you took that shot and you came back, I know it's because you taken many in your life. It's a decision to come back from that. It's a decision to keep going after you've been hurt. It's a decision to be resilient and take it to the end. People don't watch fights that way, but you should. That's what women's boxing is about. But they don't sell it that way. We all have a story. And like I said, women's boxing is not about how fast the broad is, how sexy, how much titty she's showing. It's whether you like the broad or not. It's whether you like her or not. You got your reasons why you like her. And she goes in there and she behaves badly. You like that, right? So Ramla Ali went in there with a broad who goes there, right? And she learned that this bitch behaves, she's one of the baddest ones. So now she has a threshold. Now she knows what's out here. It's up to Ramla now to rise to that level and surpass it if she has it in her. Business wise, of course, they're gonna throw her two tomato cans to get this KO back. But then what happens is when you get KO'd, not TKO'd, KO'd, when somebody flattens you and puts you on your back like that, there's no getting it back. There's no resolving that feeling that you felt. Ramla is the only one that knows that feeling of where she was on that canvas, what she heard, what she felt. That experience is all hers. And she has to evolve from that. Get some water, y'all. Throat getting dry. So it doesn't matter. This is why I say a fighter. I I personally have ruined. I know, particular on purpose, I've ruined one fighter. I've ruined other fighters. Right after I fought, there's certain fighters that I fought and they never fought again because I was built. I was trained to ruin other fighters, but I particularly ruined one fighter on purpose. Um, because there's a backstory to that. Ruining a fighter is taking them mentally through the assault. Yeah. There are things and tactics and things that happen in that ring that nobody knows about around who are watching except for you and the person you're fighting. And that mental experience comes back every time someone takes you to a similar experience. So every time Ramla Ali, she can get a tune-up. She can get 2, 3, 4, 50, 11 tune-ups. But if she gets back in there with a fighter who takes her to the point where Guzman had taken her, hit her with a good shot, hit her with, throw that hook, the mind will take her right back to that part in the ring, that experience in the ring that she had with Guzman, and she'll live it all over again as if it was happening. And so it's layers. Yeah. So she's reliving what happened with Guzman, and she's experiencing what's presently happening. Yeah. There's an art to it. I'm telling y'all. I've been taught by the best. I know the secrets, right? I know it. So, um, this will be hard for anyone to come back from, but it will be very interesting to see how Miss Ramla Ali, the poster girl for the refugee fights, the movie star, the author, the with all the endorsements, the hair, all of that stuff, it'll be interesting to see how real she knows it is and how much realer she knows she has to be to come back and claim what it is that was taken from her in that ring, which was a lot more than these belts. Now, Women's Boxing Channel says, you feel the ref counted fast as he AW, she needed help and he had to. Good on him. She was hurt bad. Well, I guess what you were saying in your statement, Women's Boxing Channel, is you feel like the ref, him counting as fast as it could he was counting according to the urgency of what he saw in front of him, which, I mean, I agree. If he counted fast or slow, she needed to be, the fight was over for her, right? Fast or slow. If anyone allowed her to get back up and continue fighting after that glaze, after seeing her like that, then now they become, predators in watching watching a injured a injured person fight for their life. But if she had popped up, or if she got up on her own and she was coherent and she was talking to the ref, hell yeah, give her a chance to finish the fight. Give Guzman a chance to finish her off if that's the case. But she was done. She was done. I think there are early stoppages, and I think there are shenanigan stoppages by refs, especially in women's boxing. But in this case, I don't I don't think one way or the other that the ref had anything to do with anything. Like I said, Julissa Guzman took that shit into her own hands, and she called it a night for everybody involved. Yeah, she said this shit is over. Yeah. Go have a seat, ref. Go on and come get your girl. We done. That's what Guzman did. Um, Big Justin James says, you're right. Franchon is tough. Clarissa said Franchon is sorry, is the hardest puncher she has fought. So you see what I'm saying? And if y'all look, like I said, people need to start doing their homework, right? If you watch Franchon and how she throws her punches, you can see that Franchon she puts a lot of torque into her shots. So in order to fight a fighter like Franchon, you got to know the solution for that problem. Do you? Tell me. Do you? I'm not sure if anyone has solved, many of the styles, the problems of the styles out here in women's boxing. But yes, in boxing, especially women's boxing, I've been saying that all night, but especially women's boxing, hitting hard is an attribute. But hitting hard does not guarantee that you're going to win. It doesn't. Now, this invites what is needed in women's boxing: strategy and tactics and IQ, right? These things need now to now, this is the cream rising to the top, right? Because it's got to be, you got to do more than be strong and hit hard in there. You got to know how to use that. Big Justin James said, nah, Cornejo never been stopped. She fought Franchon twice and Alma Ibarra. Okay. I thought maybe it was another fighter. I thought Erin Toughhill had stopped her. Maybe Erin Toughhill beat her. I don't know. But, okay, so Cornejo. So what would have been impressive of the GOAT is if the GOAT got in there and stopped Cornejo. Then we would have been like, oh, all right now, but she didn't, right? And the way Clarissa is, her personality, her persona is, she tells you everything she's doing. She's in cyberspace all the time, telling you how strong she is, telling you what she beat bitches here, she beat bitches there, and all that stuff. Okay, well, start stopping bitches. Start knocking them out. What? Come on. Right? Raise the bar. You got the bar, girl. Raise it. Make it hard for people to carry you, to hold on to you. That's all I got to say. Lovely assistant, I ain't got no more pictures. Put up the other picture. Women's Boxing Channel says Marshall Jimenez without PEDS, performance enhancement drugs. What I mean is, Cruz can whoop and cartwheel all day, but Marshall will swallow it. That's how good Shields is, too. But her, BT her. Wait, that's how good Shields is to beat her. Shields is the world current best fighter. Okay, so I believe that. To be honest, I truly believe that Savannah Marshall has what it takes. But her heart pumps Kool-Aid. She ain't got that, the heart ain't pumping that fighter, the blood of a fighter. Savannah Marshall sold a bag. She dropped the ball because the ball was in her court. Clarissa Shields came to her country. The queen done died. Like all of the things happened that would have given Savannah Marshall the leverage to win. And she didn't. She didn't do anything to Clarissa Shields. I would at least pushed her on the floor. I'd have behaved so badly, right? I'd have took it there. But Savannah Marshall didn't. I don't think Savannah Marshall was groomed for an event of that magnitude. I do agree with Women's Boxing Channel where Savannah Marshall will swallow all that shit up, right? But I've heard Clarissa Shields say this and I see it too. Savannah Marshall, to me, is of the same fabric of Mary Spencer. In Jamaica, our old saying is, "Duppy know who fi frighten." Duppy know who fi frighten. Meaning, uh, a ghost, uh, a ghost will scare who they can scare, right? But if I'm not afraid of if I ain't afraid of no ghost, can no ghost scare me, right? If I got heart, I'm not afraid of nobody. If it comes down to a fight, I'm not as scared. Like my baby used to say, I'm not as scared, right? Because I believe in my fighting chance. I believe in it. I will bet on me every time, right? So I think Savannah Marshall needs a bit more grooming. Not so much seasoning, but grooming. She got to go through a little bit more. So where she understands that she ain't really got much more to lose. If she lose, what can she lose? Right? If she lose, what's the loss? What is she losing? Right? When you realize I ain't got nothing to lose. You can't take my life, but I'm going to fight for my life. Now you got somebody who's going to be a problem. Big Justin James says, speaking of early stoppages, Caroline Dubois is the queen of getting early stoppages. That's another one. This Caroline Dubois. I suppose that she won't be this next Guat. I suppose. I'm not sipping the Kool-Aid on this Caroline Dubois. Meaning, I see that she has all of them. They all have great potential. They all can fight. They all can. Caroline Dubois can fight. She better fight Clarissa Shields before Clarissa Shields grows up. And Clarissa Shields right now in her life is doing some big growing up. I can tell. Right? Clarissa is growing up. So Caroline Dubois is a fighter who's a good fighter. Early stoppages, yes, because she overwhelms her opposition. She is more, she studies and she does her work and all of that. The reason why she doesn't get my attention as yet is because I'm tired of the immaturity. I've reached my threshold for that. They put these these wet nose fighters, female fighters, on these huge platforms. And it's like watching a toddler put their shoes on. Have you ever seen? Oh, they finally got it. The left foot goes on the left and the right goes on the right, and they're doing it consistently. Like, I'm a grown up. I want to see I want to see bras like I want to see mofos out there putting sweatpants on from a handstand like Simone Biles did. Um, Look it up. That bitch could put on her pants from a handstand position. That's what I want to see in the ring. I want to see you do some. I want to see you do some extraordinary, outstanding shit. I don't just want to see an early stoppage with a against an opponent that you're supposed to beat. I'm done. I'm tapped out from that. I'm tired of it. I'm bored now. Right? I I'm bored of it. Everyone's doing that. Caroline Dubois. Let me see you do something different. Let me see you. Let me see you season it up. Let me see some tactics now. Let me see you perform, girl. Let me see you perform it. Now, I got this picture here of Ramla Ali. I mean, she got a picture for everything out there. This girl is a model. Okay? So I found that. What am I going to do? She got a lot to think about. Her ass got a lot to think about. Mike ain't even chime in tonight because Mike's the one. Mike said he with me. Well, since day one, we wanted to see bras getting slumped. Well, she got slumped, right? She got to come back from that. Takes a lot to come back from that. It's not just fighting people and knocking them out or getting two, 3 wins. You got to come back from that. Your mind and your heart got to come back from that. So I'm very interested in seeing what she does to slay this monster now that has blemished her career, not her record, her career. Is there any more images? Because I think I may wrap. Okay, so um, just looking at the picture, this is Ellie Scottney. Okay, I had her record and stuff up, right? But it ain't really a big deal right now. But this is Ellen Scottney. This is who Julissa Guzman called out at right after, minutes after she stopped Ramla Ali. And she said, I'll do it over there in the UK, bitch. I'll come to your porch. Time and place. Time and place. Just give me time and place. I'll be there with bells on. I like that. That's fight talk, right? I would definitely look forward to Julissa Guzman fighting this one here, right? Let's see what she's all about. But I think this is a Eddie Hearn fighter too. So they'll stay away from her like she is COVID, right? They'll mask up. This trust me, this one right here, Ellie Scottney don't want no parts of Julissa. Um, Women's Boxing Channel says, Sugar, I have so much respect for you. Your knowledge is electric at times. You'd make a fantastic coach. Man, Women's Boxing Channel, you know we got history, don't you? You done cussed me out on my own damn show. We done broke up and made up. I guess you sweet talking me again. You know I can never, never leave you out. You one of my day ones. Thank you. Thank you so much, Women's Boxing Channel, for making that observation about your sugar. I would love to coach some of these broads out here, but what's happened out here in the battlefield, in the playing field, is a lot of these coaches, these guys have now become celebrity coaches, right? They don't know shit about boxing. They've read or, they've groupied their way into these broads' corners, and these broads don't understand that they can get them hurt. These guys can get them hurt really bad. Somebody's got to teach you how to play with fire. And a lot of these guys don't know what the fire is, how hot that motherfucker gets in there. That's all I got to say. Neil the Deal. Hey, great show. Thank you, Neil the Deal. Thanks for chiming in. It's been a long time since I had a party like this on the Sugar Show. Thank you guys for chiming in. Thank you. Thank you. And thanks for saying it's a great show. Neil the Deal says, yes, indeed, great coach. You know why y'all say I'd be a great coach? Because I've had some awesome coaches and trainers inside and outside the ring. I've had some amazing people in my life. That's why I say this sport is karmatic, because boxing, I didn't become a boxer. I've come to terms with, I became a fighter not for no belt. I became a fighter because what I am is bigger than a belt. I'm a success. I was a born loser. The odds were against me upon birth. I wasn't supposed to be here. I ain't supposed to be like this. And life's good for me. As bad as it gets, life still is good because I'm here. And I've been taught lessons inside and outside the ring to help me persevere and find a way to win on my terms. You feel me? So, Sugar's never impressed with no glitz and glamour. Sugar ain't impressed with no money. I can use some money now. Y'all, and I notice y'all don't put no money on Sugar's books. Y'all know y'all could donate to Sugar shows. Drop some cash in on my line. Put some money on your girl's books. Come on now, show me some love that way. But yes, I'd be a great coach because, like I said, I've had some wonderful people in my life, and it's made me who I am. And I've realized that I was never supposed to be a fighter with a belt. I'm a fighter of life in life. And what I do in and outside the ring is I'm there for you. I'm there for anybody who needs someone to be in their corner to get through that shit that they need to get through, because we all need it. And sometimes, and trust me, when you in it swinging, when you in that fight swinging, boy, do it feel good to come back to the corner and talk to somebody, and they tell you, even though you may feel a blow and you may be hurt, they tell you, well, you know what? You still in this motherfucker. You can still win. You light up. I can still win? Well, I guess I ain't going to quit then. I won't quit. I'm not a quitter. Let's win this. Neil the Deal says, you are a great communicator and a fighter. Always get better, not bitter, Sugar. Ooh, I like that one. Always get better, not bitter. That's a bar right there, Neil the Deal. You spitting tonight. That's a bar. I like that. Always get better, not bitter. Women's Boxing Channel says, but seriously, you have a listening device. The sentiments you say are listen worthy, compelling at times. Well, thank you, baby. Thank you. Like I said, I appreciate it. I'm here. This is the platform. It was never about, but it was never about being a celebrity, but it's always being loyal to the truth and loyal to appreciating what everyone has to bring to the table, right? And providing teaching moments as well as taking the opportunities to learn from you guys out there too. Um, Women Boxing Channel says, "You a damn storybook." Stop it. I got some stuff. Listen, it's some stories. It's some stories in this sugar book. Um, and I appreciate those who will, who will show up and listen. Lovely assistant, is there any more images that we got tonight? But thank you all, thank y'all. All right, let's skip over that. She's 7-0. Sub 10. Sugar don't do sub 10s. Not even if they champion. Now, the reason her name's cut off, but this one right here is Yemelith Mercado. Okay, she's 21 wins, 3 losses, 5 KO. She beat Julissa Guzman technically on the books, but her fight is this fighter is also someone that I like in the mix of the bantamweights because she a thickum. I call them thickums. When you see a solid broad in a weight class, meaning that we all make weight when we're in our highest shape, when we are in our fittest shape, you'll see it on us. You'll see the work, you'll see the muscles and all that stuff. When you see a broad shaved down and she's still thick, that's when you call them a thickum. Okay? And it ain't bad. Listen, I wish I would. I like the thickums, right? I think, oh no, like those things are a part of the entertainment for me, right? Because it just shows me that all shapes and sizes, right? We all belong. We all belong. Okay, we just gotta find our style, because styles make fights. Now, uh Yemelith Mercado, she is the actual WBC super bantamweight champion, right? So I would love to see any of the bantamweight, super bantamweights out there. Any of the girls for the past couple weeks, Suge been talking about this bantamweight division. Okay? It's interesting. I would love to see any of these broads fight each other. It's real. It's a good little pool. It's a good little pool. Lovely assistant. Any more? Any more? Are there any more images? Let me know. Okay. Look like while my assistant figure it out, I'm gonna keep it moving. Okay. Now, if there's no more, though, lovely assistant, you could make me large, as large as I can be in the frame, because I'll wrap it up. Oh, okay. So no more images. Cool. Okay. So this is the thing. Okay. Thunderclap. Okay. That's really tonight. The thunderclap is a double-edged sword, right? Because it's giveth who giveth the thunderclap and who receiveth the thunderclap, right? That explosion is what sells in women's boxing. That's really what we want. We want more of these things because it makes the story. Uh, Ramla Ali's story is not over. Just because you get stopped doesn't mean you are stopped. It gives you now a springboard to launch off of. And it's really up to you how that story turns out, right? You can ruin someone uh, someone can ruin you as a fighter if you allow them to get in your head, right? What we do in the ring is legal assault, right? And there's a psychological aspect to this legal assault, which is what Ramla Ali has experienced firsthand in front of thousands, maybe a million people, right? Because Denzel's selling it and it's for sale. She's really learned one of the most authentic lessons a fighter can learn in this industry, meaning all parts of you are for sale, and all parts of you are for everyone's entertainment. So, you, as a fighter, need to prepare for this. You need to prepare and understand what you've signed up for, right? Because being a celebrity is not the same as being a fighter. Julissa Guzman has exhibited to all of us now the fact that there's always a fighting chance, and you can always take that fight into your own hands and determine your future and what your outcome is going to be from your situation. Now, it may not be as grandeur, right? You may, but you will understand as a fighter that I will go out on my own terms. I will go out with you on your back, or I will go out swinging on my own terms, right? And I want y'all to understand that, right? And that's why, it's called thunderclap, one way or the other. When that thunderclap, right? Everyone pays attention. Everyone is going to learn from that teaching moment. Women's Boxing Channel says it ain't just the thunderclap, it's the damaging flurries when a fighter is full, but still fights to the end. That's a big part of KT's success. Now, I do agree with you there, Women's Boxing Channel, where it's not just the thunderclap, but the thunderclap is the topic of discussion for this show. Perseverance is what you're talking about, Women's Boxing Channel, and that is what we call heart in boxing, right? And I will say, Katie Taylor has heart. Katie Taylor goes in there and she puts her track shoes on, and despite anyone who she has in front of her, she runs and she finds a way to come out of that shit unscathed, right? Because she's been in there. Katie Taylor has been in there with some hurting ass broads. She's come out there with that apple, with her eyes swelled up like an apple outside her face. But she's always found a way to convince those who are out there who are for her that I won this. She performs. She gives it. She fights till the end. She does. So I will give that to Katie Taylor. And that's hard, right? So fighters who have some of the biggest hearts in women's boxing, maybe that should be one of my shows, right? I'll feature some of the women of women's boxing who has shown some of the biggest heart in that ring, because that's really what sells, especially for women boxing, right? Well, I mean, we're not selling muscles and machismo. We're selling the fact that we behave badly, and we sell the fact that we will work as hard as we need to in order to behave badly and be the baddest on our terms. So you guys, I'm going to, I'm going to wrap up the show tonight. I want to thank everyone for chiming in. Okay, I really, I love the turnout. Y'all got to tell me why I had such a big turnout tonight, right? Tell me what you liked about this show, okay? Put it in the comments below, all right? But I got to thank Women's Boxing Channel for showing up, putting their face in the place. My guys at Talkin Fight. Okay, I got to thank Big Justin James for showing up and add into the cipher. Who else was in the cipher? I got to say happy birthday again for Rebecca Towns for dropping in. Thank you. I gotta come in. Michael Jackson ain't come back to the argument. I guess he busy with his 6 inches. Who knows? Or he got somebody that busy with the somebody busy with the 6 inches of it. Okay. I got to thank you, Cedric Sports Training, for always dropping in, General. Okay. Thank you, Hoodoo Alex, or Hado Alex, for playing your Clarissa Shields card, bringing that topic to the forefront. You know what I'm saying? Thank you guys. Thank you guys. And thank you. I thank you, Neil the Deal, for telling me that it was a great show. Thank you for chiming in. It was a great show. And thank you, Neil the Deal, for telling me that, acknowledging with Women's Boxing Channel that I'd be a good coach. I really appreciate that. I think being a coach in this game is they need to have honorary titles and things like that for coaches and trainers, because I'm telling you, it ain't about the fight. It ain't just about the fighter. That coach has a lot to do with molding that champion into being a real champion, right? But I wanna thank you guys for chiming in and for rocking with Sugar ever since. Okay, it's a party when we link up. Like, subscribe, and share. Thank you, Women's Boxing Channel, for putting for putting the link on your channel and sharing Sugar's conversation with your people and your audience. I really appreciate that. Um, uh, let's see. Women's Boxing Channel comes in talking about, yes, great idea, Sugar. Women behaving badly, episode XXX. Yes, let's see the women who got the heart out here. Right? Neil the Deal says, thanks for the great show, Sugar. Women's Boxing Channel also says, truly, you should be a coach. Love to listen to you. X's. Okay, and I guess that's kisses. Neil the Deal says, children are our future. They would love to get to know you. Give me some ideas on how Sugar can, share some of this sugar with the people. Other than, the Natalie Sugar Brown platform. And like I said, like, subscribe, and share. If you like what Sugar say and what Sugar do, tell your friends about it. Y'all know I'm here every Wednesday night with my guys on Talkin Fight. And so I like to try to drop in with the group on that Talking Boxing show with the champ Tim Witherspoon. But if I'm not there, check out all the other the Talking Fight channel. Got some interesting shows on here. Okay, so like, subscribe, and share. But like, subscribe, and share this Sugar. Neil the Deal says, children are the future. If you ain't listened, you ain't said a lie. Children are. I was a child once, and now look at me, right? I'm right, so I could tell the future. Women's Boxing Channel says, so bye-bye, Sugar. Thanks a million, kid. All right, baby. Thank you. You guys, till next Wednesday, y'all take care of yourselves now, okay? And next time, we're going to give Sugar a little bit more face time out here. But until then, you guys, mwah, mwah. Bye-bye.